Hello, welcome to Thai Kicks Live. I really hope you guys are safe, well, and doing the best you can. Please give me some indication by doing some comments in the comment section, telling me whether the stream's in sync, whether it looks good. All these things are new to me, and it's these things that I've been trying to do whilst being in lockdown, trying to make this the best quality live stream that I could possibly do. And there are some bugs, so I'm still trying to do my best with it. Anyway, today on Thai Kicks Live, I wanted to talk a little bit about ADIDAS. I wanted to talk about some of the things I've got in my collection, some strange things, not necessarily strange, but things that you won't see every day, and some things that I want to talk about just about the past, but shall we say recent past, about ADIDAS, and what kind of is a strange time I feel for them. So without further ado, let's go through and drop the intro.
For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record.
So, it's funny actually. Been talking to a few people today and over the last few weeks about Adidas and ADIDAS if you are UK, ADIDAS if you are in Europe. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about them and how they rode a real big crest of a wave a few years ago. When they dropped the Ultra Boost, they created something that realistically made people want to wear sportswear shoes again for casual wear. It was a very, very interesting time where the most comfortable shoe on the market was obviously produced for running and for fitness and exercise, and that was the Ultra Boost. But it kind of changed people's perceptions of the sportswear requirements for a shoe, and it made people want something different. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a shoe that had the sock liner the way it was. I wasn't quite sold on the fact that it had this slightly protruding midsole at the back. It was a really, really interesting shoe at the time, but it wasn't one that really caught my imagination at the start. So fast forward, probably I would say maybe a year after Ultra Boost's initial launch, and someone that I sort of looked after as a client gave me a pair for Christmas for free. So I'll see if I can dig them out. I basically got the wool grey Ultra Boost as the first ever pair I ever had, and they were incredible. Like, the comfort levels alone were incredible, and I absolutely loved them. And that's where my kind of love for Adidas came back, because I used to wear Adidas a lot when I was younger. I used to wear the Galaxy line of Adidas shoes. They were fantastic back in the day. You had Adiprene, and it was just the shoe to wear. Around Air Max as well, they were the other ones that you would see people wearing in PE if their parents were nice enough to them. So to be able to finally kind of go back to them and have a shoe that I sort of thought was almost multi-purpose was amazing. And then obviously the trend in Boost kind of seemed to push it in a new direction. Now, if you are watching and you picked up a pair of the Ultra Boosts when they first came out, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. I'd really like to hear your opinions on Adidas and that era when that first, we knew that Boost had already arrived in other shoes. We had the I think it was the Cosmos, wasn't it, and there were other types of shoes, and predating that, Prime Knit was a thing that was coming through after the disagreements with Nike over Flyknit. And then we had the Nmd, which was a bit of a game changer product. So for so long, Nike had their way. They had got the Roshe Run. They got Air Max. So many things were going their way. Obviously, Jordan was Jordan brand and has always been that way. But if we're looking at sort of like shoes that were for the masses, Nike Air Max did that for a lot of people. So Adidas kind of needed their own thing. Now I'm going to pick up a couple of pairs of shoes that I have got. I'm going to try and dig out the Wool Grey Ultra Boost, and I'm going to try and dig out a pair of a pretty much pristine pair of Ultra Boosts that I will say changed the game for Ultra Boost. Big style. So let me see if I can find them. One sec. Okay. So, the Wool Greys are buried. I thought they were pretty to hand, but unfortunately they're not. And they weren't something that I thought about until I started this live stream. But I have got these, which are the triple white Ultra Boosts. These were the ones that basically Kanye West made famous. These are the ones that people saw him wear at some of his gigs, and they sold out pretty much everywhere. And I hunted high and low for a pair. Resale was ridiculous, and it was just something I wasn't willing to pay for a pair of triple white Ultra Boost. Now, they're not really triple white because they have got some hints of cream in them, and they also have black soles, and those soles were not Continental at the time. And I found these in a store in Stockholm, and they were a little bit over the UK retail price, but not by a vast quantity. And I was absolutely shocked they had my size. So I haven't worn them a whole lot. Here you go. They are in as good a nick as they possibly can be for someone who has probably worn them, I would say, no more than 3 or 4 times. And I've had these shoes for about 3 years now, and to this day they scare the hell out of me, in the sense that because they are such a white shoe, because they are so bright and so iconic from this range of Adidas in that era, that I don't want to, one, wreck the upper, because obviously it's so white. Now, I'll save it for some sunny days, and we've had a few here in the UK. But actually, it's more this undersole. Because this undersole was not Continental, these were prone to wear, like, incredibly easily. And so that's why they switched to the Continental rubber, intentionally for the reason that it had more durability. They are just such a clean shoe, such a desirable shoe at the time, that has kind of fallen by the wayside, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, say. But definitely a shoe that I think, in terms of this colourway, basically spawned that desire to want to have Ultra Boost and wear them as a casual runner, as much as a casual wearer, and I really loved it. And something that kind of I picked up probably about a year or two beforehand. I used to pick up a bit of Adidas clothing, and I picked up this, which is quite cool. This is an Adidas Originals tee. It's got 6 stars across it, and it is quite difficult to come across now. It's something that I think many people who are collectors love to see, the trefoil branding on these tees, and it's something that I've been offered money for in the past, and I've turned it down because it's not something that I want to sell unless I absolutely have to. But it's actually pretty rad. It's got that sort of almost tattoo vibe about it, with these stars and with the bolts of lightning towards the bottom of it. It's one of those t-shirts that I've always sort of held quite close from the moment that I found it, because it's so unique and quite difficult to come by these days. So that was something I want to kind of show as well. Now, let's rewind a little bit to where I was talking about Boost kind of becoming seriously mainstream, but still hard to come by, and that was with the NMD. Now, when the first NMD dropped, the OG NMD was something that I saw probably about a day or two beforehand, before I knew it was going to drop, and I genuinely was like, I really like this shoe. Like, man, that's a really cool looking shoe. It's like a sock. It's different to Ultra Boost, but it's got boost. It looks like it's got more boost, and it's got those bricks for stability. Instead of having that cage on the upper, this is definitely a casual wearer. And I went onto the Offspring website, and this was during the days, obviously, where it was still first come, first serve, but I don't think these were necessarily as desired as certain shoes are now. There are way more shoes that I think people jump on, particularly obviously resellers want to get their hands on it, and this wasn't one of those as quickly as the ones things go now, should we say. So I pulled the trigger on a pair of the original NMDs online on Offspring, and they arrived a few days later, and I was absolutely in love. Like, they were amazing, and I've got my pair here, although I will tell you the honest truth, it is not the original pair. So, but let's have a look. So these are a UK 9. Now, the originals came in the classic blue box, and these are in a black box. The story behind these is an interesting one, because you'll see that they're a bit dirty, they're a bit grubby. I've worn these a fair bit, and actually the reason why I have this pair, the original pair, when I found out that they were pretty much sold out across the board a little while down the line, so I'd gone to London the day after I got my NMDs, and I went into a couple of stores, went into Offspring, and they were down to their sort of limited amounts of sizing. They'd only got maybe really large sizes, 12s, and that was it really. So I knew that they were pretty hard to come by. And then over the months, maybe over a year or so, you could see that every drop that happened from the meshes, I bought the lush reds, and I had a pair of the blues, which I still have them. They are beaten to absolute death somewhere in one of these boxes. The blue meshes, and they sold out too. And then it went on from there. Now, many people probably think that they saturated the market with NMD, and I will say I do think they did. I felt like they waited too long to pull the trigger on making a sequel to them. I think a sequel was always going to be really, really difficult. I think the R2s didn't really work. PK NMDs were always the ones that people wanted, and the meshes just fell off the planet. People didn't want the mesh NMDs, so obviously they also made the other models, the RX ones. They're another one. I don't have a lot of PK anymore. I got rid of a few of the pairs I had, but I obviously have the OGs, and I've got some other ones that I'm going to show you. But story with these is, after a year or so, I knew these were re-releasing, and I was like, I think I need to get rid. I want to get some grails, and I need to get rid of these. How much can I get rid of them for? And I managed to sell them. I think I sold them for over £300 and something, about £320, which is crazy, knowing that they were going to re-release probably less than 2-3 weeks later. That's not my issue, unfortunately, and I don't tend to resell anything anymore, if I'm honest, but it was sincerely to fund a shoe I'd always wanted in the Ultra Boost line, which was the Soul Box Uncaged Ultra Boosts, and I knew someone that got them for that price, and so selling these NMDs, knowing that I could get them back, was pretty obvious to me. So I sold them, made that money, and then Office Online, the owners of Offspring, inadvertently released them online about a week or two early, and they put them on sale. So I managed to get a pair of the same shoes, these exact ones, from Office. They made a major mistake and dropped them for £100 in the UK. And to make it even more amazing is that they honoured it, but they couldn't release them to their buyers at the time that they had ordered. They stopped the orders and they honoured that price, and they sent them out 2 weeks or so later. And here they are. And I did a review on that, and you can see that on my YouTube channel. You can go back to those videos. Unfortunately, as time's gone on, the quality of my videos have been getting better, and hopefully the quality of these live streams are getting better. So thank you for watching, all of you who are. If you want to come into the conversation, please write some comments. I appreciate them, and it just brings a little bit more community to these live streams, as I will be doing more in the future. My intention is to try and do maybe half an hour live streams, give you guys a bit of a platform to ask me questions and to just throw things in my direction. And if I can help you in any way, please ask me. Because obviously I do a lot of videography, I'm doing a lot of photography. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to my Instagram account at ty_kix, you'll see a lot of the photography stuff that I do as well. So going back to NMD. So NMD obviously picked those up over the moon. But there was a couple of major collabs that NMD, ADIDAS and NMD did. One being with sneakers and stuff. The Data Mosh pack was a very, very hype release. People were desperate to get their hands on this Data Mosh pack. It had been shown previews. People were calling them the Gucci NMDs. And obviously people were desperate to do it. And they did it in a really interesting way. The drop was a very interesting way. Now, please don't think bad of me. I cannot remember exactly how it was, but you had to be on the ball online, either on their website or their Instagram account or something, to get your hands on a pair of them. Hey Tom, nice to see you. Sneaker Dog, awesome to have you in the live stream. And obviously Pint of Stuff has been in for a little while, which is great to see. Always happy to have conversation and drop some questions. We're talking about the NMDs, and we're talking about Adidas in general, and we're talking about Ultra Boost and Boost, and where Adidas were riding the crest of a wave for a while. And I've gone through showing off a pair of my triple white Ultra Boosts that I managed to get when there was nowhere to get them, and I love them, and I don't ruin them or wear them very often. And we've looked at my OG NMDs currently right now. Now, if you didn't see those shoes, watch this live stream back and you'll get to see them in all their glory. So the next pair we're talking about was Data Mosh, and I have my pair right here. Now, I was inspired to talk a little bit about these because a good friend of mine, Peter Coyne, who I've done a video with and will be doing more when the lockdown is over, because I promised him I would. He's just picked up two pair, like literally the two pairs of that initial pack, and they were an absolute steal. Not going to tell you how much you got them for, but I'm ridiculously jealous. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so realistically, at the time that Data Mosh dropped, NMD was really riding high. People were really, really into NMD. Any releases that were dropping, people were right all over them. And this was a pretty well-hyped shoe at the time. So this is the one colorway of the Data Mosh NMD. This is the one that people were calling the Gucci NMD. You know, overall it's got to be knocking my mic. Overall it's got to be based on the colorway. It is very much an interesting shoe, because if I was to tell you that this design, this pattern on the outside, if you were to turn it around and have a look on the inside, it's got this glitch camo effect on the inside. Now, a lot of shoes predating this that released as NMDs were unbranded with no stripes. Some of the NMDs going down the line, obviously the original one had 3 stripes on the side. These didn't have 3 stripes on the side, and neither did the glitch camo pack that dropped as well. So you had a sort of a grey, black, white glitch. You had the yellow, you had the blue, and you had the coral colour. And they were basically what you see on the inside of this. They've basically sort of reversed the upper, and this is what you got on the exterior. And I had to pay resale for them, which sucked because I didn't manage to get them for retail. And I'll be honest, I haven't got all my shoes for retail. But in more recent times, I've chosen to not spend resale money for review purposes. I used to do that a lot, and I don't do it as much anymore, and hopefully you respect me a little bit for that in some ways. So let me just quickly go to the live chat. Just want to have a quick look and see what people are saying before I waffle on any more about NMD. So hi Liam, nice to see you in the chat. Awesome to see you. Awesome to see you, Tom. Do you reckon in a couple of years these are going to be some NMD grails that people go mad for, in the same way people go talk about dunks? Honestly, no. Not because I don't think they're a good shoe. They genuinely are. But unfortunately, it seems like NMD got just overused, over-milked dry by Adidas. They were riding so high on NMD. I think they just neglected to realise that people were going to start to fall away. And actually the real sad thing about NMD is that when they went into the R2s, they really didn't do very well. They made the NMD Racer. They made the RX series, which actually I'll go on to now actually really quickly. I've got another pair of PK NMDs that are interesting for a different reason. But yeah, this was the XR1 Titolo collaboration. And Titolo dropped this collab as something pretty different to a normal XR. You had Mastermind had an XR1 that was extremely highly priced. I'm sure still on StockX it's at a reasonable price, but nowhere near what it used to be. It was extremely expensive. You're looking towards £1,000 for a pair of XR1 NMDs, which you are not going to get now. They're going to be, I'd be amazed if they're anywhere near £300-400, if that. These I really liked for a number of reasons, and some people may not like them, and I've kept on to them because they've always been really comfy. But it was the materials. This was some kind of a sort of a mesh prime knit kind of mixture, this upper, and it was a little bit higher riding than the original PK NMD R1. It also had really nice sort of leather cage around it, and a nice well, this was perforated, and then on this side you've got the Adidas Trefoil branding sort of embossed into the side of that leather, with a leather pull tab Titolo store embossed into that as well, and the back. And then the thing that I loved the most was this incredible, even though I've worn them, icy white trail sole. Was just so cool, and I've taken some really nice pictures of those in the past. Super cool. And now that I've worn them, you got the obviously the collaboration hole punch tab on there as well, and the consortium handshake. But yeah, these were so cool when I got them at the time, and I was so lucky to get my hands on a pair. And I know that no one really cares about them as much anymore, which is a shame. But was interesting to look at. Let's have a little look what Liam's saying. So the NMD R2 was super uncomfortable, weird brick on the boost. The XR1 wasn't bad. Titolo icy white, yeah, that was what drew me to that shoe. I bought a pair of the R2s. I sold them pretty much the minute that I had them arrive. I had that green colourway. Why Adidas thought it was a good idea to drop that colour with those black stripes at the time, the first version of a sequel to the NMD, I do not know. They brought out a blue colour after that with those weird stripes across them, little like dashes, but that green colour was not a nice green colour. Like, we've seen nice olive colourways from Adidas, and that was not one of them. It was like a murky puddle green, and I sold them pretty quickly. Let's have a little look. Tom, what are you saying, my friend? Liked the XR1, got those in the OG colourway, after missing out on the R1s. Yeah, well, do you know what? Some of the OG colorways of the XR1 and it's like a chucker, that was pretty cool. I really did like that. I really genuinely liked that. I never got them because I had the original R1. But if I hadn't had, I would have probably gone looking for a pair of those, one of those two anyway. So the next NMD that I'm going to talk about is actually after I got the Ultra Boost Kith Mid from the Aspen pack, the one that everyone was desperate to get their hands on at the time and knew it was exceptionally limited. I paid again some resale price for that. And a story that is too long to tell on this live stream. I'll save it for another day, but things transpired and I didn't have my size, so I had to live with a small size I couldn't wear for a long time, but I eventually managed to get my size. And the one thing that's amazing about that shoe is its laces. The laces look like they have been made out of like some strands of wool. Like, they're really weird laces. And if you've never seen them, go and have a look online at the ADIDAS Kith Ultra Boost Mid Aspen in the original colorway. There was a friends and family white colorway with a chrome heel cup. This is the original one. But when I saw this is the Nmd Pk R1 Static, and I did a review of these. It was a pretty early review, live stream review actually. One of my first crappy live streams. Now that I've upped my game with my stuff. Was this. I got these really early when they dropped on a website that basically was in Spain. To be totally honest, I cannot tell you what that website was, but I was fascinated by this because this gave a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a twist on the NMD, the original NMD shape. You had this crazy amounts of colour in the sock liner, some mad static colours running all the way through this shoe. Then you've got these laces. Now you look at these laces straight away, you can see these laces have got something reminiscent of those Kith Mids. The Kith Mids had this type of lacing or type of laces. They were amazing, and they're a really cool shoe overall. And I've beaten them a bit. They need a bit of a clean, but you know, even this, like, you never saw this overlay on normal NMDs. We'll do a comparison. Let's have a quick look at the original NMD. So, actually, we get the glitch. It's exactly the same as the original NMD. So you had the lacing loops on this. So this sort of plastic attached lace loop. And then they go away from that to like a plastic overlay, and it just threads through the actual prime knit on the upper. Is pretty amazing, and they are a fire shoe for sure. And the fact that the heel tab on the originals had like Japanese writing and interesting sort of or French words or different things like that on it, this just says no signal. So this is the no signal shoe, and you had some sort of like wavy static pattern on the insole, which was pretty amazing as well. See if we can open that up a little bit and see it a bit better. If this is blurry and you don't see any of the detail very well, please let me know. It's going to always chase my face, this camera, but I would like you guys to see it a little bit better. It's a pretty cool NMD, and one that I think a lot of people missed. It went under the radar, big style. So that's that. That's the no signal or static NMD R1. A shoe that I should shoot more. I haven't really done a lot of pictures of that, so I really should shoot that. Yeah, so we've gone through pretty much all the NMDs that I have got, bar the blue mesh, original blue meshes. So if any of you guys have got any questions about NMD, let me know. Ultra Boost, let's talk about this too. I'm gonna sort of lock the live stream off in a few minutes time. I just wanted to go through the stories of some of these shoes I've got in my collection. I'm going to be doing more of this as well in the next over the next year. with social distancing, I think live streaming will be the way to be able to do some quick content for you guys. And hopefully, if you do like the content, please hit that subscribe button. I really want to get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as I possibly can. I'm looking to do a giveaway very, very soon for a £50 gift voucher for anywhere of your choosing that's a reasonable place, a legitimate place, but £50 gift card for you to spend, whether it be JD, whether it be Selfridges. I'll sort that out for you guys, but the only way that will happen is if I hit the 2,000 subscriber mark, and it's not far away. It's a couple of hundred. That's all I need. So tell your friends, tell your family. If you get involved, get entering when I launch this competition in the next week or so. It's going to be well worth it. One thing I will do as well is I will probably give away one of my sneaker bags as a backup second place prize, because I've got one sneaker bag that I've got on the side, brand spanking new, and I'm sure one of you guys would appreciate a lot more than me. So now that we've got to this point, if we fast forward through all of the different NMDs that have come out, so you've had the XR1s, you've had the R1s, you've had the R2s, you've had the racers, you've had re-releases of the R1s. They've tried to make a new sequel as well in recent times that is just not going to hit the heights. It just won't, and it's just going to sit. I think they should just have left NMD to be. Unfortunately, it's going to be what it is. It's now the Roshi run of ADIDAS' shoe line. But unfortunately, they just didn't follow it up with new things. The Pro Fear, come on. It was probably one of the worst shoes I've ever seen Adidas release in the last 10 years. It was a terrible shoe. Now, I apologise if you owned a pair. I was not a fan. It was not a good shoe at all. And it had the biggest, ugliest sole I've ever seen. The tubular that basically looked like a bit of a rip-off Yeezy. Again, not a good shoe. Now, I understand there has to be shoes that cater for a lower budget. Now, not everyone has hundreds of pounds to spend on shoes. But there is no excuse for why Adidas can't make a shoe that looks really good and doesn't look whack at the same time. And they weren't good. And then they brought out the D-Ruts. And some people love them, some people hate them. I just thought they looked like someone was wearing a mesh vest over their trainers, a net pair of stockings over their shoes. So let me just quickly go back to the live chat, because I don't want to miss any questions. I want people to know that I am reading the live stream and I'm not just waffling on. So Liam's saying No Signal was super underrated, even went on sale in a few places, same as the green and black marble pair, which I do like as well, and keep looking out for those if they ever become a steal, because unfortunately when you know a shoe isn't selling out in their sizes and they sit and they sit and they sit and they're on sale still and they sit, they're going to just go down even more. So you just have to sit and wait and hope that the day that they drop them, that you can get your size before they're all gone and you're left with a 7 or something. If you are a 7, then you're a lucky person. But that's what I've been doing with certain shoes, because that's what I want to do. I want to kind of get them for a price that I'm not going to regret, because you know they're sitting. So yeah, we've talked a little bit about the aftermath of the highs of the Boost kind of era. Now, obviously, they're still riding high with Yeezy, but Yeezy is a little bit of an exception to the rule and a brand in its own, and people will buy it because of it's got that hype nature to it, always will, from the early days. Louis Vuitton, collab, Nike, Yeezys, you know, all those shoes really bring it into its own. And Adidas have always tried to bring their own shoes to market to be their winners, shall we say. NMD did it. Ultra Boost did it. Ultra Boost kind of did. Ultra Boost carries on. It doesn't mean that it's anywhere near as desirable as it used to, but people still buy them because they know they're really comfortable. And sometimes comfort is key for people who do not care about sneakers. They're not bothered about collecting. They just want a comfy pair of shoes and they're willing to invest good money. And that's where Ultra Boost works for both a casual wearer and someone who wants to be into fitness. So yeah, we are heading into the end of the live stream. If you are still watching, I really appreciated you coming in to this live stream. I really hope that you guys, if you haven't watched my content before, are going to go and check out some of the content. I've got over 150 plus videos, reviews and vlogs, and I always like your feedback on these videos in the comment section down below. It's definitely something that you guys can help me to make better content you want to watch for longer. And I want to go into the Yeezy lines as well, and the sneaker selling scene as we are now in 2020 and what the effects will be. There's some videos on there from the Sneaker Dog, Andy Wilson. Go and check that out. What happened early on in this pandemic with some of the brands. We've been hearing that maybe Office is up for sale, Offspring's parent company. There's a lot of things going to be happening in the next couple of months in this trainer scene. So there'll be plenty of stuff to talk about. So last thing to read on the live stream, amazingly NMD's 4th best-selling shoe in the US in 2019. And that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't, because it's got such good comfort levels. Having that sock-like feel, having it boost underneath it, it isn't a bad shoe. It's just got so many iterations now in so many different ways that it's been watered down. That's really what it is. So I would never say it's a bad shoe. I just think that unless there was nothing, you can't turn around and say to me, other than maybe the OG pair, that there are any pairs that people would be willing to pay decent money for now. I know both pairs of the Data Mosh pack don't go for a lot of money these days. StockX have them at maybe higher than maybe someone selling them privately would sell them to you for. I know someone that got both pairs of those for under £50, which is crazy. And I've seen the next Data Mosh pack, and that really was the reason that you could tell that things were dying off, is that they brought out a brand new Data Mosh pack. They weren't the best colorways, if I'm honest, but some people loved them, and they just didn't really do the same as the originals. So there lies the popularity of a shoe when things aren't the same as previous generations. It's not always about sequels being trying to be better. Like in movies, sequels aren't always better than the originals. It's actually about how much more availability of different colors and different styles are out now, and have people spent out on NMD, don't want to buy anymore like I did. And it's the same with Yeezy 350 V2s. I don't buy them anymore. I don't buy them, and I will only buy shoes I missed out on from the Yeezy 350 V2 range now. I'm looking for a pair of glows. If you want to help me out, I would really appreciate it. The same with the 700 V3s. I've took an L on both of them, and I'm really gutted about it. So if anyone wants to help me out and you're watching this, drop me a DM or go to my Instagram, probably the best place to send me a message, and I'll always pick up. Right, I really hope that you guys enjoy this. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Really important to get to the 2,000 mark, and I will be launching this giveaway in the next week or so. And if you like this live stream as well, please comment underneath when you would like me to do another one. Offer me some topics we can go over again, and take care.